Hello, friends. It's Chapo.
I built this whole NGO around it.
The voting rights organization founded by Stacey Abrams spent more than $25 million over 2 years on legal fees, mostly on a single case, with the largest amount going to the self-described boutique law firm of the candidate's campaign chairwoman. Allegra Lawrence Hardy, Abrams' close friend who chaired her gubernatorial campaign both in 2018 and her current bid to unseat Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, is one of two parties named in Lawrence and Bundy, a small firm with fewer than 24 attorneys. The firm received $9.4 million from Abrams' group Fair Fight Action in 2019 and 2020, the last years for which federal tax filings are available. Fair Fight Action has maintained that the suit, which ended last month when a federal judge ruled against the group on all three remaining claims, served an important role in drawing attention to voting inequities. But some outside the group question both the level of expenditures devoted to a single, largely unsuccessful legal action and the fact that such a large payout went to the firm of Abrams' close friend and campaign chair. Those concerns were heightened by the fact that Abrams' national campaign against voter suppression galvanized the Democratic Party, many of whose top donors helped fill its coffers.
Well, that's the way the world turns. Everyone has a different way of doing things. You know, Republicans have a different way of paying people. It goes through like eight layers, and then you have to like pay the National Enquirer guy for like a woman that a fat guy knocked up. There are a lot of confusing steps, and this is generally how the Democratic ship goes around.
Republicans also love just having a dark money syndicate just buy someone's book in giant pallets.
That's a good one.
And just
I think Democrats are doing that now, though.
They should. I mean, hey, you know, that's easy money. If you're not doing that, you're fucking up.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, do you really believe it when they're like, oh, Eric Swalwell's book is a bestseller?
Did they claim that Eric Swalwell's book was a bestseller?
I don't even know. I don't even know if he fucking wrote a book, but it just I've seen too many things like that happen, you know? Ooh, Chelsea Clinton's Choose Your Own Mystery book actually sold 20 million copies.
Don't forget on the Republican side that at a certain level, payment is always meted out in sports memorabilia or racehorses. That's a very important figure of Republican graft. But yeah, like so, the Stacey Abrams people are saying that this is a hit piece against her. I mean, like she's down by 10 points in the governor's race at this point.
Oh no, we need to stop Stacey Abrams. Like she's doing a great job of that herself. She's walking L.
I would be shocked if she won.
No, she's not going to win.
I mean, so somebody should be fucking, I don't know, challenging the disenfranchisement of voters on a massive scale. But it just seems like this is just like the number one Democrat person who's like, I'm here to stand for voting rights is just, you know, just like how many voters did her group actually register versus how much money did they spend on like administrative costs? It just seems like, yeah, like this is the way things are done. The problems are real, but the solutions, folks, they all involve paying my friend $9 million.
And they don't actually solve anything.
Yeah, no, the solutions, they don't exist.
Yeah. The solution to me not having a houseboat, that exists.
I do have to say, though, early numbers suggest my Warlock pick is dead on.
I will say it does look like Warlock might have cast a deadly spell on the voters of Georgia and won, which is honestly too bad because I was really looking forward to Herschel Walker in the Senate going ham.
That would have been, oh, man.
It's like time to do a citizen's arrest of Charles Schumer with like a fucking badge he got out of a Cracker Jack box.
putting an M60 machine gun in Dianne Feinstein's mouth.
That's just good old wholesome fun.
Yeah. You know, we didn't talk about like the last episode when we talked about sheriff's departments. I mean, in Exhibit A in the case against should sheriff's departments exist is that they gave that fucking moron like a badge and were like, yeah, you're a cop now.
Yeah,
you can help us in this county.
There was a great video where he was standing right next to like one of those sheriffs who's shaped exactly like Grimace, and the guy was like, well, here we go. For all the people who doubted, I am declaring that Herschel Walker officially has a wife-killing license in Georgia.
I guess though, like, you know, as the polls tighten up, or like, you know, I think we're all on the same page here. Is that like, you know, the GOP is going to take back control of Congress, but it's not going to be like a complete washout for them. But at the same time, it's like if you look at like polls to the extent to which we take them seriously, it does seem to me that like among the normal white contingent that we're so interested in as a demographically powerful voting bloc, it does seem that their concern has shifted away from abortion being criminalized to cereal is too damn expensive and gas and things like that.
Polls suck. Don't care until whatever happens. But I mean, yeah, I mean, like we said, even when the Democrats are doing better in polls, all they really have is abortion, right? Because what is their straightforward message on any economic issue? They don't have any. There's nothing that they can really say. Abortion was always the only thing that they really had.
Well, I mean, like now they're looking at a situation in which they're like, they know what's going to happen in 2023, which is that the Republicans are going to use the debt ceiling to, basically force cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Their response to that, we definitely can't get rid of the debt ceiling. We got to keep, I mean, a debt house with no debt ceiling, the rain will just get in on all my debt. Yeah. But I mean, once again, I think that's probably because they would like to cut Social Security and Medicare themselves. But, the Republicans are going to force them to do it by holding the nation's debt hostage.
Oh, darn it. Oh, geez, you're really twisting my arm here.
And, the Federal Reserve is conjuring. They got the Volcker summoning circle right now. They're conjuring a recession right now, and they're saying it quite openly. Because, they need a recession to deal with inflation. Or so they say. I mean, it's really a recession intended to discipline the labor force. I mean, you could have deflationary measures by taxing the wealthy. That would bring prices down, or like that would, the dollar would be worth more in that case. But like, what do you guys make of just inflation as the number one issue that people are concerned about, or that the politicians have to pretend to have to deal with?
I think that it's a valid practice. I understand that sometimes people get triggered seeing it, like the Fulton Street Fair or something, but it's not harmful. Doctors have assured me that the testicles can be inflated repeatedly without damage. So I think people just need to stop yucking people's young.
I mean, what is there to say about it? It's not surprising that it's an issue. It's like the exact type of thing that would piss voters off. Yeah, regardless of whether you go like, okay, we were due for inflation. We had a red hot equities market with weirdly low inflation for forever. Whatever explanation you choose to use, whether it's this is the Vladimir Putin inflation tax or whatever. I mean, yeah, what else is there to say about it?
There's nothing that anyone will do about it other than the one button they have, which is to try to create a recession, which is not working even on inflation. And we're instead now deep into Brandonization, which is stagflation for the 21st century.
Yeah, they unexpectedly added 270,000 jobs, all political cartoonists hired to draw the fiscal cliff in next year's political cartoons.
A jobs program for people labeling things in cartoons.
Yeah.
Taxes, the national debt. It's like an anvil teetering over the edge of a cliff.
Well, I mean, what is there to really say about any of this? Polls suck. You can't pull one thing or another out of them. People will vote, maybe not as much as they like, maybe more than they'd like. Maybe they were forced by someone else to vote. And we're going to keep on brandoning.
Something we've talked about on this episode and others is this kind of like, Felix, you said we are sort of going backwards in time into a sort of EU situation. We've talked before about how culture is slowly moving backwards in time, so that like our current trends are somewhere around the early aughts, maybe. But this is all part and parcel of a growing political movement, and by political movement I mean some memes that are online of those who would entreat us to continue moving back in time and in fact return to a more traditional era of sort of social homogeneity and social trust, right? Return to tradition. We've all seen the memes, but the return to tradition people are actually moving forward in history. And this is what's interesting to me. Because, when these memes started, they'd be like, return to being a medieval peasant and being sure of your faith in God and your place in his kingdom, and, feast days and, backbreaking agricultural labor for the other third or 2/3 of the year. That's one form of tradition. Then another return to tradition is like the ads of the 1950s, like Don Draper coming home, and there's Sally, and she's got a drink for him, and he's smoking a cigarette, and he's in a crisp suit looking good. But the latest iteration of returning to tradition would have us return to that bygone era, the halcyon days of like the mid to late 90s.